Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Katie worries that Electra will break Will's heart. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, seems to be on a collision course with Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, and sparks could fly between the two of them. Could Will fall for Electra and start a romance with her? Could Will and Electra be the next hot romance at Forrester Creations? The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest that Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, made it plain the last time she was in town that she was coming for Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton soon. Of course, Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McSinswood, inserted herself in their conversation in an attempt to make Ivy back off. However, Liam is single and wouldn't mind mingling with his ex-wife. Ivy planted a kiss on Liam that left no doubt what she had in mind. Ivy wants to see where things could go between her and Liam, and she is accompanying her niece, Electra, to Los Angeles. Could these Spencer brothers fall for these Forrester ladies? Could Will find himself falling in love now that he is back home where he belongs? Will Electra be his new love interest? Electra is set to arrive in Los Angeles in October, and spoilers suggest that she will sweep Will off his feet. Of course, Katie Logan, Heather Tom, may warn Will about moving too fast. After all, Electra doesn't exactly sound like a name of someone who is laid back and calm. Electra sounds like she could be attractive and edgy. Could Electra be a little too much for Will to handle? Will certainly has nothing else to do but hang out with his big brother Liam. However, Liam and Will only have so much to talk about. However, Liam and Will could certainly take the Forrester ladies out for a night on the town. Will Liam and Will both end up dating the Forrester ladies? Will Katie and Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, warn Will to stay away? Bill recently got the shock of his life when Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, turned from a sweet and loving girl to a murdering psychotic person. Bill thought this girl was his daughter, only to find out that the faked a paternity test, murdered 2 men and kidnapped his ex-daughter-in-law, because Steffi figured out what Luna was up to. Surely Will won't end up being in a toxic relationship like R.G. Forrester, Joshua Hoffman. Katie saw what her nephew went through and wouldn't want her son to be in that situation. Will Katie and Bill prevent Will from having a fall romance with Electra? Could Liam and Ivy reconnect as well? Katie Logan has always been fiercely protective of her son, Will. From the moment he was born, she promised herself that she would shield him from the turbulence of the world, especially the drama and heartbreak that seemed to surround the Forrester, Spencer, and Logan families. As Will grew older, however, Katie realized that she couldn't guard him from everything. He was becoming his own person, smart, ambitious, and full of life. But as Katie stood in the Forrester mansion, watching her son grow closer to Electra Forrester, her heart ached with worry. Could this whirlwind romance break Will's heart? Electra Forrester was as captivating as her name suggested, a striking figure with her mother Quinn's bold eyes and her father Eric's sophistication. She had a magnetic presence that drew people in. She had been raised in the midst of fashion, power, and privilege, but she also carried a certain darkness, a rebellious edge that both fascinated and worried those around her. For Katie, Electra represented both excitement and danger for her son. Will had always been responsible, the boy who excelled at everything he did. But now, Katie wondered if he was blinded by Electra's allure. Katie sighed deeply as she replayed the conversation she had overheard between Will and Electra in her mind. They had been laughing, their voices drifting through the hallways, but something in Electra's tone had unsettled her. The way Electra teased Will about taking risks, about stepping out from the shadows of his father Bill Spencer and forging his own path had sounded exciting, maybe even too exciting for a young man like Will, who was still trying to figure out his place in the world. Katie had always admired her son's sense of balance, his ability to keep his feet on the ground while dreaming big. But with Electra in the picture, Katie feared he might lose that stability. Katie's concern wasn't just about Electra's influence, though. It was also about the Forrester legacy of complicated relationships. Eric and Quinn had weathered storms, and the Forrester family tree was filled with branches that often entangled in painful ways. Katie knew what it was like to fall for a Forrester man and the heartache that could follow. She didn't want that for her son, but could she really stop it? As Katie stood by the window in her home, her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. She opened it to find her sister, Brooke, standing on the porch. "I thought I'd stop by, see how you're doing," Brooke said with a warm smile, though her eyes reflected the same concern Katie felt. "Come in," Katie replied, stepping aside and leading her sister into the living room. As they sat down, Brooke wasted no time. "So, I hear Will's spending a lot of time with Electra," Brooke began, her tone casual but probing. Katie sighed. "Yeah, they've been inseparable lately. I know he's smitten with her, but I can't help worrying, Brooke. She's a Forrester, and we both know what that can mean." Brooke nodded sympathetically. "I get it. Electra's a wild card, and she's got Quinn's fire in her, but Will's smart, he's Bill's son, and he's got your level-headedness." "That's exactly what I'm worried about," Katie replied. "Electra's the kind of girl who could push him to be more like Bill, to embrace that side of himself that craves power and danger. Will's always been so different from his father, but what if Electra changes that?" Brooke leaned back, her expression thoughtful. "You've got a point, but Will isn't a kid anymore. He's going to have to make his own choices. The more you try to protect him, the more you might push him toward her." Katie ran a hand through her hair, her mind racing. "I know, it's just, I don't want him to get hurt. Electra's unpredictable, and I'm afraid she'll break his heart when she gets bored." Brooke placed a reassuring hand on Katie's arm. "We all want to protect our kids from getting hurt, but sometimes we have to let them experience life, even if that means getting their hearts broken. Will's strong, Katie. He'll survive, no matter what happens." Katie knew Brooke was right, but it didn't ease the knot of worry tightening in her chest. She had seen how love could bring people to their knees, how it could tear lives apart. She had lived through her own heartbreaks, from her tumultuous relationship with Bill to her ill-fated romance with Wyatt. The thought of her son experiencing that kind of pain was unbearable. Later that evening, Katie found herself at Spencer Publications, where Bill was working late. She hadn't planned on talking to him about Will and Electra, but as she walked into his office and saw him sitting behind his desk, looking so much like the powerful, dangerous man she had once loved, the words spilled out. "Bill, I'm worried about Will," Katie began, not bothering with small talk. Bill looked up, his expression serious. "What's going on?" "It's Electra. He's falling for her, and I'm scared she's going to hurt him," Katie said, pacing the room as she spoke. "You know how these things go, especially in that family. Electra's trouble, and I don't want Will to get dragged into it." Bill stood and walked over to Katie, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Will's not a kid anymore, Katie. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and if Electra's trouble, he'll figure it out. I get that you're worried, but he's going to have to live his own life." Katie looked up at Bill, her heart heavy with uncertainty. And what if he doesn't figure it out? What if she breaks his heart and changes him in ways we can't undo? Bill sighed, his face softening in a way Katie rarely saw. "Then we'll be there to pick up the pieces. That's all we can do." As Katie left Bill's office, she knew that both Brooke and Bill were right. She couldn't control Will's life or shield him from every hurt. But that didn't stop her from worrying, from fearing that Electra Forrester would do more than just break Will's heart. She might change him forever.